could someone's like, hey, I know this show is canceled, but in case you uncancel it, can I open for you? Like there's like it's not slowing opportunists whatsoever. It's not. There's someone messaged me on LinkedIn, like an unsolicited, like business to business type of thing, and I just wrote back and I said, "Are you familiar with the phrase war profiteer?" And they replied and said no. And so then I said it should be on your business card. Like
that's a good line.
Thank you. We should be like we need. And look, I know everybody is trying to make a buck right now. You're still trying to make a living, and businesses closing down hurts that a lot for other people. But at the same time, like know who the fuck you're talking to, and like take a minute to think about what other people are going through before you hit them up for money.
You think comedy clubs are going out of business? They can't shut the doors for a month or two and stay in business?
The margins, look, I've owned 4 of them. The margins are so razor thin that like we could not have afforded to. Chris Bowers, who owns some of them with me, he used to joke that because he sees businesses all the time going out of business, be like, oh, I wish we could afford to just close. Because like at a certain point, you owe so many people money that like you can't afford to just close. You have to figure out a way out of it. You have to sell to make just enough to get out of your bills. It's a very tough industry. Like live event, if you're not Live Nation, if you're not the Improv, like it is razor thin margins. And that's true with restaurants as well. Like F&B, you know, you're talking about eking by. I mean, most restaurants close anyway. And so when you lose 2 months of business, that's a lot of business. And especially because like the summer is the toughest time for comedy clubs, with the exception of if you're in a vacation spot, which, you know, maybe 10 clubs are. The summer is when people stop going because they do outdoor activities. And so if you're going to try to recover and then suddenly, you know, we start recovering in May or June, you're fucked. I think a lot of clubs are going to be going out of business.
That makes sense. I'm glad you said that. It opened my eyes a bit. I have more experience in big companies like Cisco, the networking company I work for. I don't know what they have in cash. Something like 40 billion, 60 billion. They're fine till May. They'll be all right. So I almost thought like, I guess a lot of businesses have the cash set aside to make it for a couple of months, but not all.
Not small retail, you're going to see so many things go out of business.
Something like 4 out of 5 restaurants fail, like you said, without pandemics. So, yeah. I imagine it's going to be rough.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, you know, you take that sweet podcast money, buy up a couple restaurants when this is all over, you'll be in good shape, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
fine. Take that sweet podcast money
you're not going to
turn
open
it
Woody's.
Into a very smaller amount of money because they all fail.
Yeah, just open Woody's. It's a series of Cheers themed bars.
This is a money loser. Tell me more.
Yeah, if you, I think if you, and look, it's true. Anytime there's a downturn in the economy, if you are one of the people who get out of it with money, you're going to be in good shape, because if you can invest when things are low, you'll be fine. And I mean, hell, when you know, talk about margins, when I think of like where my career was just 2 years ago versus where it is now. Like right now, I'm okay. 2 years ago, I'd have been terrified. And like, I don't know what I would have done. And so like right now, I'm busy trying to help other comedians. Like when I do the live streams, I'm not taking $1. Everything I make on those live streams, I'm giving to other comedians who are out of work. When I think about where I would have been 2 years ago, I can't file for unemployment. That's not how freelance works. And so like, I don't even know what I would have done.
I would get a cookout. If you wanted to get involved with a restaurant, it's Cookout. That is the most successful franchise I've ever seen. When one of those pops into a town, lines around the block, everybody's blown the fuck away. They can't believe how amazing it is and all the cool shit they have. It's delicious. It's amazing. The franchise fee is $35,000. Startup costs vary somewhere between $300,000 and $600,000, and you have to have a cash liquidity of about $200,000, a net worth of $400,000. It's doable, and they are so successful. Everyone I've ever seen.
You lost me after the franchise fee.
$35,000 is super low. I wonder if you own the restaurant.
Do you get to choose? It's like that Mitch Hedberg joke. Do you get to choose which promotions you participate in?
That's super duper low. Like I'm sorry, Steve. Like,
No, it's fine.
Talking without doing any listening.
They're often a quarter.
It's not a good podcast attribute. But like Chick-fil-A, for example, you don't own Chick-fil-A. People think Chick-fil-A is this great business to own. They're very profitable. The lines go around the corner. But you are not a Chick-fil-A owner. You are a Chick-fil-A operator. You buy the thing. It's cheaper than most, but you don't own it afterwards. When you buy a Subway or a McDonald's or a Wendy's, you own that restaurant. At Chick-fil-A, you're buying a job. You're buying the opportunity to run that location, and then you can't sell it to somebody else. It's not yours. You just bought yourself a good job. The fact that the cookout is so low, like, I wonder how their franchises really work.
Mitch Hedberg has a joke about how, like, how they say participation may vary, and he wants to open up a McDonald's and not participate in shit. And just the idea, we only serve spaghetti. Like, it's a great. I love that bit. I love the idea of doing that.
So today, 51 Republican senators voted against paid sick leave. And before talking to Steve, I thought, those evil fucks, right? Like, why? Everyone needs sick leave so much right now. And it's like, oh, maybe the why is because everyone who owns any of these businesses will go under immediately. Like, oh, if I have to pay all these people who aren't working, then just close the doors.
Yeah, it needs to be. I mean, that needs to be like government subsidized. It is amazing though that like all these people who are just like libertarian, get the government out of my business, and then this happens. They're like, "Hello, government, why aren't you picking up the phone?"
Yes,
government, it's me.
$1,000, please. I want $1,000. Yeah. Like I saw a joke on Reddit today. Like, hey, how much does it cost to turn a Republican into a socialist? $1,000.
That's hilarious. And just the idea, like Andrew Yang must be sitting there, be like, but you guys made fun of me.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right, pussy boy.
But also without Yang, it's possible that this kind of thing would not be in the public conscious. Like the idea of handing people $1,000 might not be. Which, by the way, still I'm not for. I am very much for workfare and not welfare. But I do think that certain, maybe some living expenses can be covered or something like that. But giving someone cash to me makes no sense because people fritter away cash. People spend cash in ridiculous ways.
I think credits would be interesting rather than cash. Credits, like to spend on specific sectors,
like food stamps.
Like food stamps, but without the like food stamps, like
food stamps, but for clothes, like clothes stamps.
It would be like a debit card that would only work for certain things, and then there'd become a black market of people buying those debit cards at a reduced cost, for cash, so that the people with the debit cards could go get drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, eventually it would.
I've immediately changed my mind about my plan.
Greg Giraldo has that great bit about the idea of like, oh, he's just going to spend it on booze, and like, can you blame him? Like, look at his life. Can you blame him? And but the thing that a lot of people will do irresponsibly is they go, hey, we just got $1,000. We can finally take that vacation we've been wanting.
That's what they're going to do. That's what I said at the beginning of the show. That's what they're going to do.
But what I'm saying is that they might take that vacation and go to Mexico or Thailand. Oh, this is fuck. I should have thought of it. They're all going to take the vacation to Mexico. Mexico's economy will get great. They won't want us coming over anymore. They'll pay for the wall. Holy shit. It's
they'll build
chess.
They'll build the wall on Mexican land. Right?
It's 10D chess. Yeah. They don't want the disease coming over.
Maybe 11.
Yeah. I think actually the best thing that they did in terms of trying to curb immigration is line the border with some of the shittiest states. Brilliant move. Arizona? Come on.
How dare you? How dare you? American Southwest is a gym.
Which state are you standing up for right now?
Turquoise.
Is it Texas?
Dry heat.
New Mexico.
Dude, I went to. Was I on the show after I did the Texas tour? I don't remember if I was there, if I was on last after or before.
I don't remember.
But I did. Did I tell you the story about Laredo?
I don't remember.
We did a show in Laredo, and our hotel was on the border, like outside my window. Like you could see the human rights violations outside my window. It was the tents were just below. Like we had a balcony that we could overlook the tents. It was crazy. And so a couple things. One, I looked that up because I was like, oh my God, are those the like separating families tents? Those are the courthouse tents. So Laredo only has the courthouses, but the city of Laredo offered the U.S. government a very nice building for $1 lease for 100 years. And they said no, because they want the fucking tents because they're scary.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
so
I like that.
It's theater.